If I still F with you around my birthday, if I still F with you around my birthday, you can remove the IUD. So, Art, he's having unprotected sex with a 19-year-old OnlyFans model. Illegal? No. Stupid? Yes. But here's where it gets even more critical, Art. By telling her she can remove her IUD, if you still messing with her around your birthday, you're giving her false hope. You're giving her false hope. And what you're doing, Uncle Shannon Sharpe, is you're turning this from a transactional relationship with benefits, sex for cash, and you're turning this into a legitimate romance. When Shannon told her she could take out the IUD, which automatically implies it's okay for me to get pregnant now, you automatically led this woman into thinking she was going to have a long-term relationship with you that would involve a child. Now, you and I know, Art, that something psychologically and emotionally had to be wrong with her, because why is a 19-year-old OnlyFans snow bunny thinking she's going to get married to or have a baby with Shannon Sharpe? It don't make sense.
Listen, we got to talk. 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 Dr. Umar was talking about some real sense. I can't lie to you. You know, listen. I want to be honest with you. Listen, sex, hedonism, Egypt, prodigal son behaviors, sexual undiscipline will always get you in trouble. Listen, I don't been. Listen, it will always get you into trouble. Because what sex does. I shouldn't have said too much because, you know, monetization. But, you know, what this does is it causes issues in the long run because it confuses people, especially if it's prolonged exposure in this aspect, because the chemicals will eventually win. Now, you've got this young 19-year-old, which first and foremost is way too young, who is doing these things with you, right? Is an OnlyFans. And like Dr. Umar said, right? The difference that we have here is that there is a confusion because the line has been crossed. What's been crossed? There is a transaction that's meant to happen between the two of them, which is financial transaction, which is what keeps people's mind at bay, that this is nothing more than just that. Now, having been somebody who's done lived a certain lifestyle previously, when you start having sex with women, right, regularly, that's part of the issue. But the part that becomes an issue is when there is talking, when there is staying over, where there is chilling, there is going on dates, there is talking, there's phone calls, there's texts, there is memes, there is exchange of video links, all those kind of things, right? All the trimmings of a relationship. That's when the starting of the actual issue becomes. Because when there is a situation between two people and all we do is have sex and I kick you out, even after a while, yeah, you might feel some type of way, but you always realize that he kicks me out after. There's nothing more to the situation. But what happens if I don't kick you out? What happens if I brew you a tea or coffee, right? And I said, let's just chill, watch a bit of Netflix, and then, you know, we kick it again or whatever, you can go, whatever, blah, 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 right? Now the other person's like, okay. I mean, he's treating me real good. Okay, well, I'll go on, right? And so the person's mind begins to ruminate and begins to starts to find avenues and things that it wants to start trying to understand about. Oh, what's going on? This is, and more than likely, you're probably getting treated better than you might be treated than you were with a boyfriend. And so now it starts making you think, oh, this could be something. And so what Dr. Umar is really explaining here is really powerful about how when she's asking about wanting a baby, he should have shut that down and said, listen, look, here's a payment, final payment. I don't want to do this no more, right? And be done. But because you're thinking with the head that's down below, right? And you think you can always win because you're playing Russian roulette, but you keep winning, keeps landing on red or whether black, or I don't know which one, whether wings, and you're winning. You don't realize that one day when you roll the die, it's not going to win. But you don't think that because you think you're always in control. You think that, you know, for you, you're the king of the kings and you are the king of the jungle. And so nothing can happen to you. And that's the deceit that going down that path of being sexually indisciplined takes you. That eventually you do something stupid. Eventually you become stupid. Eventually become foolish. And that's why this thing always catches us out. When you like entering the sex game is like entering the drug game. Like you think you're gonna leave with all that money on the table, but you ain't. You're gonna leave in a casket or you're gonna go to jail, right? Because most people don't leave early enough. And the same with the sex game is you're gonna leave with a baby, you're gonna leave with an STD, or you're gonna leave with a scar, you're gonna leave with some scars, right? Some scars or an investigation, right? And so you leave with something heavy, you know what I'm saying to you, right? And so that's the issue behind going down that path that Shannon Sharpe is actually now in. So Dr. Umar is speaking some sense.
Why would he give you a baby and have to walk around letting the world know I impregnated someone younger than my own daughters, almost old enough to be my granddaughter? He's not going to do that. For her to think he would tells you that she had the mind of a child, wishful thinking, imaginary thinking, without a lot of common sense and logic. So let's go further, Art.
And I think that's the key point, right? What people are annoyed of with Shannon Sharpe, which is that she had a child, she is a child, right? And at 19, with his big boy age. Now it's not illegal, but it's something you can question morally, as well. And again, I think that's why it got shift. That's why that shift from going from transactional OnlyFans person to now having that ID removed, and also as well, you know, potentially also as well, like having more conversation you really need to have, it always going to bleed into that. Now Shannon probably enjoys the power aspect of the relationship, the freedom to have sex, but he doesn't realize that he's that she's connecting herself to him. And like I said, most people don't realize that it's getting deeper and it's too late. They're like frogs who are in a pan that slowly heats up. They don't realize that they're going to get cooked.
You're not black. Why would you want a black baby given the hell that black people suffer in this country? I believe she was trying to sweet talk him into the pregnancy. I believe she was trying to sweet talk him into the pregnancy. And then when she said, you better get used to it, she texted him, Art, and she said, you better get used to me, because once you put that big black baby in me, you ain't never getting rid of me. She said.
So this sounds like somebody who has attachment issues, and sounds like this young lady is somebody who is who wants someone to unconditionally love her, right? And so what she found is a manipulative way to get that to happen. She knows by having a baby, and a lot of ladies, this is their mindset because they're broken and they're hurt, right? She knows that having a baby means he's now attached to her, not only just emotionally, physically, mentally, but financially too, right? And like she said, you're gonna have to get used to me because you know that's the facts. And so and this is what I'm saying to you, sex will do this to you, right? Where you as a man suddenly lose all your power and she now has all the power. Like that's why what men suffer, because when she gets pregnant, she now has all the power. And that flip is scary for us as men. Let me be honest with you. Jesus. It's a scary place, bro, to be. You know what I'm saying to you? Yeah. So this is what I'm saying to you. That game that you're playing is Russian roulette. You're playing with a gun to your head. It's a Russian roulette thing. And you're spinning the thing and you're saying, not today, not today. But eventually,
said, you better get used to me, because after you put that big black baby in me, you ain't never getting rid of me. And I think that was the text message that scared Shannon Sharpe. When Shannon got that text message, when she said, after you put that big black baby in me, you ain't never getting rid of me, that's when he knew he was dealing with a psycho. And I think from that point forward, he started trying to separate, failing to realize that you didn't do this to no sister. You did this to a privileged white girl, OnlyFans model or not. She is a privileged white girl. What black men need to understand in America, Art, that they still don't understand. It doesn't matter if the white woman is homeless. It doesn't matter if the white woman is strung out on drugs. It doesn't matter if the white woman is a prostitute. It doesn't matter if the Caucasian is an OnlyFans model. She is still a white woman in America. And if she accused you of doing wrong, you will be brought down and disgraced as if you were accused by Hillary Clinton herself.
And on that note, listen, I don't have anything more to say. I'll do a whole video breakdown another day. I'll do a deeper one, but he's absolutely right. There's an aspect where you have to look at it from that perspective and that lens, and that goes out to power dynamics, right? You realizing now that you don't have the power in that situation you think you did because you were, Shannon Sharpe and you're that black man, but that sexual discipline will lead you down to roads where, and the Bible talks about this in Proverbs about the adulterous woman, right? The promiscuous woman that will lead you down to Sheol, bro. Like, listen, you don't think it will be you. I promise you, when I was in Egypt, I thought it would be me, but before you know it, you're somewhere you don't want to be. You know what I'm saying to you? Before you know it, you're somewhere you don't want to be. So you have to learn, like some of us got hard heads. And it only be for the grace of God that you survive certain situations. You know what I'm saying to you? That God doesn't open certain doors and allow certain things to happen to you. But when you see some things, Good luck to Shannon. The judgment has begun and the grace has ended.